Good evening, dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Who do we have here?
This is Isaiah Radkey of Radkey.
Yeah, man, we've been wanting to have any of you guys on.
For a while, yeah. I think about a year and a half or so. First of all, for anybody who doesn't know, we're awful proud of you guys as a band for being Missouri locals.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Anytime we can see that happen and see you guys take on a national or international stage, it's great to see and well deserved. But I think I got turned on to you. It was shortly before you got picked up for the Foo Fighters tour, and I was like, well, fuck, there goes that.
That's not going to happen for a while.
Yeah. We stayed in touch here and there, and I'm glad we could make it happen. But after that whirlwind, man, you guys have had an amazing last few years.
Yeah, this has been really sweet. And that's really cool that it happened right when we started kind of doing our own label thing too. So that was great, to be able to have these kind of big things happen, just all from our cred and, shows.
Yeah. And that can't be easy coming out of St. Joe.
No.
There's not a whole lot going on there.
No, that was definitely not an easy part of the journey.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah, it's tough enough being in the Midwest and then just being in a smaller community in the Midwest on top of that.
Yeah.
Yep. It was pretty tough. Being from St. Joe, we started the band pretty much because we were bored and stuff. And then not a whole lot of places to play. So, you got to get out there and, work extra hard to really, make it out there being from St. Joe. It just wasn't, not the hardest in the world, but definitely if you were to pick a spot, you probably wouldn't want to pick there.
Yeah.
No, not a good starting spot, really. Not that we don't love St. Joe.
Yeah, and we know a guy there who's a promoter for Magoons and a couple of Danny Phillips. I don't know if you know Danny, but it's a grind for him. He says, it's kind of tough getting things off the ground there or getting things going. So bless you for that.
Yeah, it's definitely tough.
Yeah. But man, you got some big, just looking back at your history, which I had no idea of. Good grief, you played with Fishbone. Was your first big show?
Yes. Fishbone was our very first show ever. It was pretty crazy because a band dropped off, and then Dad was able to get us on there for our first show, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, you've got to be pinching yourself. Is this real?
That's how it felt, it was really crazy to be like, oh crap, okay, we've got a gig, because we weren't planning on playing any gigs for a while, and then that gig pops up and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I guess we're about to do this.
So this is your first time as a band in front of an audience is Fishbone's crowd?
Yeah.
Shit.
That was really intense. But it was great. Never wanted to go back from then.
No, that'll kind of spoil you too.
Yeah.
It did, because we were pretty much chasing that feeling of a packed show ever since our very first show. So we, it was a lot easier to never give up as a band because we actually luckily had a taste of packed club show as our first show. It was a dream show, and then the next show was kind of the reality, kind of crappy show, whereas the first show for once was actually the incredible one and not just the gut punch.
Right. Yeah, and everybody has those gut punch shows, or I think you have to have them in a way.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, you guys are going to be coming back here to Columbia, Missouri for the gut punch. As far as size is concerned, compared to playing stadiums.
Yeah.
What's that transition been like lately, and just going from playing those packed, Foo Fighters stadium shows to coming back to clubs in the region and stuff like that?
It's always something because they're all, they're pretty different, there's a different kind of vibe with each type of show. And with the Foo Fighters shows, we were sort of prepared for what it would be like because we had played with Jack White a few years before, and then we were on tour with Rise Against. So like we had always had like club shows in between all those, and it's pretty normal to switch between. And the thing is, though, what's great is that it's been getting better and better ever since we started our own label and started getting to work on the things that we felt were important. We were able to grow our fan base. So yeah, pretty much all the shows are good now. Like we're happy to play the stadium shows, we're happy to play the packed club shows, we're happy to do the festivals. It's just been really sweet.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you guys on all
Thank
of that.
you.
That's really awesome. And I know it's a lot of hard work, and it's a family effort, which is really cool too.
Yep, that's one of the cool parts is that we are really close and that we were able to take this on the road and really make things happen because it's all this Foo Fighters stuff and just the shows have been really sweet.
Yeah, even did I read right? Your grandmother was in a band? Is that correct?
Yes.
Like a psychedelic band, or what was there?
Yeah, it was like a psychedelic Christian band, which is an interesting combo.
I need to hear about this.
Yeah. It's definitely, there's a vinyl single out there somewhere. It's called Isaiah, which is funny.
So it's a personal one for you.
Yeah.
So was the single named after you, renamed after the single, or just a...
I don't remember what the single was called, but I think that was the band was called.
Oh, the band was called Isaiah.
Yeah, and the singles, I don't remember what the singles were called, actually.
I
think it's findable on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
It's a musical family.
Yeah.
And then your dad, was your dad part of the same band, or did you just continue music on later, or?
He actually didn't play in any band or anything, but he was a big fan of music.
So just saw that, had that passion, kind of instilled it in you, and listened to it growing up, I guess, is what you were doing. And
pretty much just listening to music and hanging out, and at some point we started a band.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys were homeschooled, is that right?
Yes.
Good experience for you?
Yeah, it was awesome because we had a lot of time to really do the kinds of things that we enjoyed and got to hang out with each other a lot and get really close and stay close, and we're able to start the band and have plenty of time to practice and get the chops that we needed to get out there and do it for real, which was what we wanted to do, was to really, really become what we have become now, which was just like a real band that people like listen to and consider like a real rock band. Like, it feels nice to not be like a baby band anymore.
Right, or like a novelty act. Like, do you get tired of hearing, oh, they're brothers, oh,
Totally, because we've had to like come back after some years because we had ran as like a young brother band, and then as the years go by, you get the kind of reset once you become in your 20s, and then you gotta kind of stand on your own without the brother thing and the young thing really mattering as much.
Right, you don't want to be the punk rock Hanson.
Yeah, and then like once you get out there and prove yourself, once you've become an adult and prove that there's it's not like a gimmick or anything, you guys can write awesome songs, and there's proof in the numbers and the types of shows that we've been able to get once we were able to we were able to pull off all the stuff we needed to pull off when we became in our 20s. Like that's the toughest hurdle as a young band, that reset.
Right. Yeah. And it stands in the music. I think that's the most refreshing thing about it. It was just hearing you guys the first time. It's like, it's very, I wouldn't say standard by any means, but it's very punk rock. It's pure punk rock.
Totally.
And you don't hear that much anymore. I hear so many people talking about even associating with punk, and they don't want to associate with punk bands because of what we've been dealt.
Totally.
It was a blow to the punk industry and the punk scene for the last 20, 30 years or whatever. Yeah, I started going through some of your playlist, your Green Machine playlist today. That thing's fucking huge.
It's crazy.
What is it, 30 hours?
Yeah. It's insane.
So what were some of those just initials you think that you heard that you're like, I think we, need to start playing music? some of those big influences. I mean, I hear some Misfits in there.
Well, one of our main bands were Weezer and Nirvana and Foo Fighters and like Led Zeppelin, The Who, Pixies, and then like all kinds of stuff like that. And then later on into the band, we ended up getting into people like Billy Joel and like Steely Dan, and taking it all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the diversity, and you can kind of feel that growth.
Yeah.
Coming to as you listen to like earlier stuff to more current stuff.
Totally. We're always trying to change it up and keep ourselves entertained while also not like, because while we do listen to all kinds of different music, it's all about like not changing your sound to some crazy level to where you aren't yourselves, which we've never really kind of done that, but we're always aware of that. You want to make music for yourself and keep yourself entertained, but like the band and it is important in the sound,
right?
But with that, have you ever so you're self-taught, you guys were all self-taught at the beginning.
Yes.
Did you ever think like now that I've got these opportunities or anything else, I'm going to go back and maybe take some lessons or just listen to some, advice from these different amazing people I've had to play with? Or have you tried to go back and study music at all, or just kept on that kind of self-taught drive?
Pretty much on the self-taught drive. Like the way we kind of study music is like kind of just like listening to it a lot and like comparing it to other music and kind of, as we work with producers, we're able to start figuring out like, okay, this band's kind of doing this and in this song, and okay, now this is the bridge or the breakdown or the B verse and all kinds of weird things. And and then, once you start listening to studying a bunch of songs, then when you're trying to do something from a production point of view, you're able to point out like 4 different songs and what you're kind of talking about and what type of vibe or section or anything.
Right.
And if you're even wrong about what section, you could even look it up and be like, okay, actually that's the B verse. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Is a B verse vibe on my bridge,
Right. I kind of think of it as like, if you listen to like Quentin Tarantino interviews, right? He talks about, all these other big directors went to school to learn to be a director. And he's like, I went to films, not film school.
Absolutely. That's yeah. I mean, and you could absolutely study it like that. Like, and once you start working on it, you start discovering things. And for me and a lot of us, like when it came to being in a band, working with like Ross Orton and like Bill Stevenson, like doing the production route, you end up learning a bunch of things in the song creation and recording space. And then you take that and remember those things. And, that's kind of like some school when you're going to record a record with the producer, like,
yeah.
Maybe at this point, since we've produced a couple records now, when we do go into the studio with a producer again, it'll be more, we're just getting it done, enhancing it a little as opposed to, we're learning so much, like we're being taught. Like I feel like some years ago we had pretty much learned quite a few of the things that we needed to know. Obviously there's still some things, but like generally, like we're in the place, which is a crazy place to be, where you can produce a pretty rockin' song and record it yourself. And that's nuts, because there's a lot of stuff that comes into it. And even with, some of our recordings we've done, like you run into situations where you're like, oh my God, we got through it, but we would have been a lot better off if we kept the notebook and like a little bit more notes, things like that. So
yeah,
we're still learning.
Yeah.
Even that, just like I say, in about any art form, there's an artistic language. There's a language for music. There's a language for painting. All that stuff I always found really intimidating. Especially in music.
Totally.
Because the last time I was in a band, I was like, the part that goes da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want to sound like an asshole. You want to be able to know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But it's hard to write music, I find, without it, without that language.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the language you have. Like, once you get deeper, you figure out that there actually isn't any other better form. You're still pretty much sounding out drums and guitars. That's pretty much the best way to get what you want. and you know, even if you're trying to do a piano lick, like you're going to be sounding it out.
Do you guys have kind of a musical sibling language? Does that question make sense?
I mean, I would say we do. You know, there's definitely something that we have. I wouldn't be able to like.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to define.
Yeah, totally. But there's definitely something.
Mm-hmm.
No, that makes sense. I just kind of wondered, like, just getting out there, always having done it, you know, as the three of you together, and then being like in this environment with all these other, you know, established musicians, and like almost like this question of, are we doing it right?
Yep.
Right? Because you've always done it your way, and like maybe that's not necessarily the standard way.
Yep. And then then you think the standard way, and then what's great about music is that like sometimes the standard way is like not the standard way, if that makes any sense. Like sometimes you gotta open those boxes and do some crazy stuff, and it fits. Like because we were stuck in the verse, chorus, solo, chorus, kind of like standard. Like this is the song's done. But now we've like once you start mixing some things up, it's really crazy. Then there's some pieces you can form and to fit into different holes that are, maybe sometimes wouldn't fit in there, but can, depending on the situation. It's just really crazy what it is. Like it's like a crazy thing that's always changing. And if you're adapting with it, then you can pull in the right things that you need. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a big thing that geared you towards going back to being self-produced? Was it more the writing, or was it more the industry and the business?
I would say it was the industry and the business, because we would have continued to, work with Ross and Bill and stuff. But like when sometimes labels get in the way of all those kinds of things, and then people have schedules and, Ross lives in England. So we were just kind of forced into, especially with the pandemic, having like to do our own entire record self-production.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we pulled it off, and we're like, awesome. And we just went into the studio, and we're going to be headed back, and that turned out really sweet. And we're just like, wow, okay. So I'm at this point, like it took that last recording we did just a couple weeks ago or a month ago to really let me know, like, okay, I think we're ready to go whenever we have to record by ourselves, because we pulled off Green Room. But the next challenge was, can we do something that doesn't sound the same, that still is awesome ourselves, without having to add a fresh perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Which sometimes, we're not going to be done working with producers forever. Like we really want to go back in with Ross and stuff. But like,
right.
That was definitely a test, this last song. And we were really stoked with what we did. And we're stoked for everyone to hear it. And like, we're excited to do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're looking forward to more for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing you guys come back around here. So are you still based out of St. Joe, or have you guys like moved out of Kansas City? Or
we're living in Kansas City now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're Matt's neighbors. Yeah, he's in KC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what part?
We're living pretty close to Worlds of Fun, like North Kansas City.
North KC, yep. So just on your way. I'm in like the Waldo area.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been some great bands coming out of that area. I mean, just Kansas City, Kansas, and you're in Central Mo even. But
well, yeah, we're friends with a few of the same artists. We're tight with Godzillionaire and Many Colored Death, and
oh, nice.
Oh yeah, we love those guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Mark's a good friend of Cody and those guys, and the Many Colored Death here in Como. Played with you guys a few times. And any big ones turning you on that are new or anything around there?
Well, I'm a big fan of that band from here, Bummer. That's a really cool band. I assume y'all have heard of them.
I don't know if I know. Bummer, you said?
I haven't heard of them, huh?
Yeah, check out Bummer. We brought them to Rose Music Hall.
Okay.
Some years back, but they're a great band, and they're definitely a band I'm a fan of from the area.
Okay.
No, I got to check it out. Cool.
Right on. Any new recording coming up or anything else?
Yeah, we're going to be going back into the studio in at the end of the month.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're trying to get the rest of this record ready, and we're going to hit this next year pretty hard. Like, hopefully everything's going better with the, the pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that scary at all? Like hitting like stadium level shows and knowing there's still like this pandemic that's not over?
Personally, I wasn't very scared because since we were like vaccinated and shit, like my main fear of coronavirus was the death. That was my main fear. So like getting like, I still don't want to get it. Haven't got it yet.
Right.
But like, it's just so much less scary to me now that it's like, okay, my mom could die, my dad, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was horrifying. And that, like, and now that that's not so much the case, it's a little bit different. But then again, you got variants and stuff, but like, hopefully everyone's sick of like masks and all that. Like, but it's just like, we got to get this under control. Hopefully we can have like shows back and, producers can, we can fly to different countries and all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still definitely kind of touch and go, but yeah, it was around that time you guys picked up that everything seemed like it was going to be in the clear. Everything was going to be okay then. But I think you're right. I mean, from everything I'm seeing now, as long as you are vaccinated, as long as you are masking up, you might get it. Hopefully it won't be as bad for you.
Right. This new strain's pretty, like, I was just hearing somebody could, like, have a leaky mask and leave the room an hour ago, and if you're not, like, totally masked right, it can still infect you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like, it's really highly infectious. But, so far, anyway, it's not nearly as deadly, and especially if you've been vaccinated.
Man, the way they're trying to evolve and like be like sitting in rooms now under masks is like so weird, man.
Yeah.
Clinton Lucas has got it now.
God damn.
Who does?
It's the mayor of KC, Clinton Lucas.
Oh yeah. Scary stuff.
Yep.
Man, I hope we can get past this shit though. I mean, from what I've read from virologists and stuff, they say this is kind of the what a virus does when it peters out, though.
Okay.
But it's just so weird that we don't know enough about it, that it kind of burns bright.
Yeah.
With the way that it latches on, then peters out really fast.
Okay.
But they've all said also, don't quote me on that. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. We don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Quote me, but don't quote me. But here's how it goes. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just glad we're all vaxxed up here, man.
Totally.
Yeah. Big thing they were talking about in the news lately is the amount of fatigue that people have towards others who just refusing vaccination and things like that. And I feel that.
Yep.
I feel that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, because you get the family get-togethers of the unvaxxed family, and it's just like, oh, a couple of them got COVID. It's like, what do you think was going to happen? It's way more contagious if you're not vaccinated, guys.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's parts of the state and the country where people just won't buy into like the fact that you need to be vaccinated.
Yeah, like freaking there was way worse, not way worse, but there were pretty terrible diseases that we had to get. Yeah, polio. There you go.
Yeah, good example.
Yeah, John and I, our little hometown in southern Missouri.
Yeah.
People are wearing disguises to get vaccinated.
Oh my god,
the stigma is so bad.
Oh my goodness. See, I totally buy that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, St. Joe, I know it's around there too.
Because like the way I feel nervous going into places just because I don't want to hear like the comment or whatever. It's just like, let me be whatever you think I am. Like, you don't have to say it out loud.
Right. Yeah. America.
Yeah.
Yep. It's weird and creepy.
Yeah, that's so weird that we've gotten to that point. People are looking at people and saying, seeing somebody in a mask and saying Democrat.
Yeah.
It's like that's your first thought? Really?
Insane. Because like it shouldn't be politics. That's the thing that it was the craziest thing about the whole thing.
It shouldn't be. I agree.
Yeah.
It's like, can we all just like argue about the stuff, but then like just not be sick? Like, come on. Like, why does it have to become like anti-vaccine? Like,
yeah.
Because like, we all wanted to go to work and stuff. Like what's the deal?
because people need an issue.
Yep.
They need a boogeyman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They need to blame all the shit on somebody, and it's always, oh my God, look what Joe Biden's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even Trump coming in, like, from what I heard, saying positive things about the vaccine doesn't seem to work.
No, well, they've already got that so established.
No, and he's actually getting booed about that shit. He's like, well, yeah, I got my booster.
What a weird strategy with everyone's sick and gathering and, like, don't you need everyone to be alive, like, vote? Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, especially like you say, when people trying to make a living, and it's not something that's exclusive to us in America. I mean, we talk to a lot of bands in the UK, Australia, everywhere else, and like one of the big complaints we're getting from Ireland is them having these, huge soccer games and, football games, and then refusing to open up a pub to like 20 people. Yeah, for a show.
Yep.
But it's okay as long as it's for football. It's not okay if it's for music.
Right.
It's like, that virus doesn't care. Doesn't care about your politics. Doesn't care what kind of music you like.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm a big Chiefs fan. I'm not going to Arrowhead right now.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like I went to see Spider-Man twice, but, other than that.
It was that good, huh? It was worth 2 viewings?
It really was. It really was. I actually would like to see it again.
It looks like one of the better ones that's out there.
Totally.
I want to see it for sure. We saw the new Ghostbusters. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought it lacked a little comedy. I thought the one with the female cast here not too long ago, I thought was more funny.
Yeah, they could have used Paul Rudd a little bit more, I felt like, too.
He's a funny dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly went to see it for Paul Rudd. I felt like there's probably some scenes in there you could have popped back in the movie that he was featured in.
Sure.
Being funny and stuff.
KC guy.
Special effects were great.
Yeah.
Totally. It was fun. I saw it in IMAX. It was a good time.
I thought it was good. All of you big comic fans, too?
Definitely.
I mean, I know you guys at like one point went to, you got to go to Marvel headquarters and do a podcast there, didn't you?
Yeah. It was pretty sweet. Yeah, it was great. We went to DC a little more recently, too, and that was great.
Yeah.
Like, those were some of the dreams, because we're, like, crazy big comic fans. Like, we saw Venom and Carnage as well. Like, we're big into that stuff. And going to Marvel and DC through the band was just the dream.
I bet.
Right on. Yeah, getting on soundtrack. Is that a goal?
Oh, absolutely. Like, that would be really cool.
Who's your favorite comic hero then? Superhero? Do you have one?
It was Iron Man for a while. Back when I was a kid, like, that was my favorite. And it kind of got really big and kind of became more Robert Downey Jr. So
Right.
It's kind of weird to mention, like, Iron Man being my favorite, because that's not exactly the take that is my favorite.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
No, seriously, like, people don't remember Iron Man was a minor character until all this shit blew up in movies.
Absolutely.
The Avengers is like a minor thing, right? It was no Justice League.
Yeah. It became big because that's all, they didn't have the rights to Spider-Man and X-Men, so they kind of had to make Avengers awesome, and they pulled it off.
Right.
But, like, Avengers was never even that great, it was kind of just, it was kind of cool, but especially when Spider-Man showed up, but like,
yeah,
Iron Man's awesome, and I loved his stuff. And I kind of like him having a secret identity and things like that. Like, that was always a part that I liked, and it was cool in the movie when he gave it up and stuff, but it's just, just not my favorite.
Right.
Yeah. But I can see what you're saying definitely about how Robert Downey Jr. just became what Iron Man is.
100%.
Tony Stark he was sort of a darker kind of anti-hero kind of guy, and
he
kind
was
of an asshole, really, the way that they wrote him.
Yeah.
I remember when they were like, they were kind of pushing, like, right when the movie first came out, he's a good, and he was a great casting for Iron Man.
Yep.
But they were also like, they're going to push more like the alcoholic, shit on it. And they really didn't.
No, they didn't.
Right.
And Robert Downey Jr. is perfect for that because he's an alcoholic. And I'm like,
yeah, because you don't get an actor because he can act like it. He has to live it.
Right.
Right.
But they didn't really go that angle.
No.
Yeah, they like teased it a little bit in Iron Man 2, but they didn't really go that far.
Nah, probably didn't test well with
No,
audiences.
no.
Yeah, we don't want drunk Robert back.
Did you ever see, it was like an old Mad TV bit when Nicolas Cage did Leaving Las Vegas, and it was going to be like, they tied it in because he was also slated to play Superman, and it was like,
Oh my gosh.
Leaving Metropolis, and it was like this boozed out Superman. It was hilarious.
Superman.
That's hilarious. I remember that, hearing about that Superman movie. I wanted to see the documentary about it.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I was always a big like Silver Surfer fan.
Yep, Silver Surfer's cool.
Too powerful of a character though. Reality.
Yep, they haven't found a way to fit him in there.
No.
I think Marvel will figure it out. They've been pretty good at figuring out stuff, and now they're tying more things together, which is interesting.
Yep, I would love to see Galactus and Silver Surfer. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I think you'll see some of, like, they're bringing in Daredevil.
Yeah, that's really cool.
You know, they're bringing in Kingpin. That's working so far, and I was worried about that. I was like, thank God I bring him, because he played such a good Daredevil in the Netflix series.
Yeah,
I agree, and it's cool because when they bring it back into whatever other thing, he's already got so much established like lore that whether everything happened the same way in the Netflix or not, like we all know that Daredevil, so it's really cool that it's back. It's him again. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, and they've got so many to choose from. I mean, such a monster catalog, which is why like things like Guardians of the Galaxy really surprised me. It's like, really? This one?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that one was one we saw kind of just because it was out, and then it was really surprising how good it was.
Yeah. I mean, Gunn did a great job with those flicks. I like them.
Yeah, Suicide Squad was great too. His
that was excellent.
remake, it was really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what DC has gotten wrong, right? Marvel's really invested in the lesser known characters, and you can kind of get away with more when you do that.
You really can.
When you're going with Batman, everybody fucking knows Batman's story. Everybody knows Superman and Wonder Woman's story, right? Those are like by heart, right? You can't really get too off script with that.
Totally.
But when you start to invest in like, the lesser known characters, then you can do a lot.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that really did a lot to that movie. Like, because we already had like a take on Suicide Squad that was so terrible. So you got another, you get to look at like how you can really do it right with a bunch of kind of lesser known characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, they got a lot to draw from. That's for sure. In the future, they can keep that going forever.
Yeah.
There's so many, they haven't tapped into yet. They've still got plenty to come.
So what would be the biggest one you'd want to see on film for the new Marvel universe of films? Just go with Marvel, let's say.
I'm really excited to see their take on X-Men because I assume Cyclops will be a leading character in it.
Yeah.
So at least co-stars with Wolverine. So that's something I'm excited for. And Fantastic Four, we'll see, It's never been pulled off, even though it's awesome,
Oh, I know. It's like every Fantastic Four movie sucks.
Yeah, the newest one might be actually worse than the old two.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to...
It's pretty bad. It's hard to be worse than those, but that Miles Teller one is like... Just the way they tied its clobbering time into like a childhood, like
oh god,
like situation was just like, what? Who wants to think about that? We're watching Fantastic Four, guys. That alone like destroys any chance that this has.
Yeah, it was so arbitrary.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You don't have to do that. He's probably just some writer.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. I've got the greatest spin on its clobbering time in the thing. It's going to be some depressing shit. Awesome.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's like they tried too hard.
They did.
Yeah, they tried this. They tried way too hard on that. Like, and that's the thing. I wasn't even upset at the cast and like the dark take and like,
Right.
you know, it's supposed to be kind of scary when they get their powers. Like, oh my god, I'm stretching. Like, you could make it kind of a scary movie and a smaller movie. Like, but the way they did it was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. Did you guys have any other interests growing up besides comics? Skating, video games, everything?
Well, we played a lot of skating video games. Like we're really into gaming and stuff like that. Like that's our probably under music our biggest thing is that. Like we take it really seriously and that's what we do whenever we're not recording or writing songs.
Well, cool. I'll have to get a hold of your gamer tag.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're on Xbox and PlayStation and all that.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm mostly an Xbox guy.
Yeah.
Mostly, I like a lot of first-person shooters and shit. I like Skyrim and stuff like that too, and Red Dead.
Yeah, we're big Destiny guys, and then
yeah,
Halo is our new big one that just came out. But yeah, Xbox is pretty much our main jam. I even got a PC recently just to play Halo, even in Destiny, kind of even deeper.
Right on. Yeah, I've been looking for a good, I haven't played a good one in a long time, but looking for a good horror first-person shooter. I mean, I liked Doom, you know, the 2016, but it was more just, I wouldn't even call it a horror game so much.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, those Resident Evil ones, those seemed pretty good. I didn't play all of the Resident Evil. I think it was 7.
Yeah.
But it was definitely pretty creepy.
Yeah. I really liked like Silent Hill back when it was out.
That's one I've yet to play, actually.
Well, if you go back and play it now, it's going to look like hot garbage compared to, you know, how great graphics have become. But the story was cool, and some of the characters and the monsters and stuff were really great.
Totally. And that Resident Evil 2 on PS1, that game's still probably the game that makes me jump the most.
Yeah. Good jump scares in that one.
Yeah, something about the way the sound is and like where they're placed. I always forget where they're at, and then it always gets me so bad.
Yeah, that soundtrack. The soundtracks of those games are so underestimated in a lot of ways of how much they have to do with the game. Like we talked to Mike Moraski on the show.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Real big honor, but he did like Left 4 Dead and Portal and
oh great.
It's like making the ambient soundtracks even for that. It's like how you can pull off a soundtrack that somebody can listen to for literally binging for like 12 hours out of their day sometimes.
Yeah,
totally.
It's like I can't think of a record that I would listen to for that long,
Yep.
But to hook somebody with the music on those games is just incredible. Some of the work those guys do.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're putting hours into a game.
Yeah, that'd be a good hookup for you guys. Get to know him.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Introduce you.
Yeah. Maybe you could work you into a game soundtrack.
Yeah, because that's a whole skill, like having to come up with like not just a good song, but enough variations and to where it like can play for like a big long game session and not get so annoying. You know, like that's something that is a pretty crazy art form.
Yeah, especially when you keep hearing the same dialogue over and over again.
Yep.
Because she has wares.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading one of your like FAQs, and wasn't it D? Doesn't he have some big accomplishment in Skyrim, or is it Solomon?
Is Solomon?
Yeah,
in that online version, Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, he became emperor on there.
Oh,
that's Emperor. A pretty big thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that takes a while.
yeah. There's some time staying up.
Yeah.
How does that compare to opening for the Foo Fighters? What's his bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to ask him probably. That was cool, but I was emperor for a day, and that was. Yeah. I have to ask a little more about the Foo Fighters just because my kid is such a huge fan.
Totally.
Oh yeah, he's going to be listening. Yep.
What was that like just backstage?
It was incredible because, it could have been like. It was just crazy at the very top, kind of. It's like at the top of rock, that it would be such a comfortable tour full of so many nice people, and it was really great. Like, and anytime like Dave had to like make us feel excited to be on the tour, if he was ever around, he like took that opportunity, and that was really cool because it was a long tour, and you don't expect that out of a band,
mm-hmm.
and that was just really cool. Like, to make us feel so at home, and that was just such a great experience. And yeah, it was really sweet.
Yeah. I'm glad to see less like rivalries and shit going on in music than used to happen.
Totally.
And the feuds and the, shit like that just got so exhausting after a while. And
yeah.
Even how fans will pick sides, is pretty rough when you don't even know anything about the situation. You're not even there.
Totally.
That's what we hear. I mean, have you found that just lately in playing with all sorts of different people that the scene has just gotten nicer?
Yeah. Also, like, it's cool too, because like when we kind of came in to playing music, I think that the rock scene had changed quite a bit, and the music scene was a lot more chill, like, because we didn't really encounter too much crap.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the stereotypes, but not a lot of the hate. Maybe.
Totally.
Might be a way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Do you think that's got a little better since you've well, I mean, guys, man, you guys have been around for a while.
Yep.
Thinking about it, I mean, shit, you're going to be getting to that point pretty soon where you're going to be playing music for more of your life than you haven't. Is that a weird thing to reflect on?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. Yeah, because I would always, say, like, I've been playing music almost for as long as I can even, like, remember doing stuff, like, at this point. Yeah, like, we had the time where we weren't in the band, and they just pretty much took over. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that, you've been, in the music industry, well, been playing music even longer, but working in the industry since, like 2011, you're talking 11 years. And how old of a guy are you now? You're like 25, 24, 25?
I am 26.
26?
Old
Okay.
man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
That is wild. And just how much of it you guys have accomplished, really just pulling yourselves up, right? That's impressive.
It's nuts, man. It was definitely a long journey with lots of ups and downs.
Yeah.
So I do want to get to plugging. We don't have to wrap right now by any means, but I'm just saying, do want to plug. So you've got a show coming up here. That's the one I'm aware of on the 15th, but you're playing all around regionally. You got a show coming up in St. Louis too. Is that right?
Yes.
Beforehand, when is that one? Like, is that the 11th?
I think it's like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And what else you got going for shows?
It's St. Louis. Yeah, we're coming to Columbia, and we're doing Chicago and Milwaukee.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to let some people know. I grew up around that area too, up around Northern Illinois, so I'll definitely tell some folks to get out there and check you out.
Nice.
For sure.
Have you established like a home away from home type place yet? I think a lot of bands seem like they do that.
I would say Sheffield in England is kind of like a home away from home kind of thing. Yeah, because we spent a lot of time there recording, and that's pretty much the longest time we've ever spent anywhere at once. So that was something that really became like a home to us, and that's it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like England. Anytime I've spent there, it felt pretty comfortable. It's strangely comfortable to me.
Totally.
Yeah. Got to play Jules Holland over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. A lot of amazing memories.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird to me, even that he has a shot. I just always think of him from Squeeze. It was kind of like, when we were talking about meeting Mike Moraski, it's like, oh, yeah, the guy from Steel Pole Bathtub. And you're like, no, the guy from Lord of the Rings, dumbass. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess there's that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool. Hey, when do you think you're going to get back over the pond?
Yeah.
You got any plans for it or anything?
Oh, man, no plans. It would be great for it to happen soon.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's crazy to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So many things are up in the air.
So I know you guys are recording some at home. Do you have your own studio, or is there like a studio you're using?
We record in Weights and Measures Sound Lab in Kansas City.
Right on.
Yeah, that's our go-to.
Okay.
Nice.
So if you have to do a homecoming show, Where would it be?
We usually play Record Bar in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We talked to Steve about you guys. He's a big fan.
Oh yeah. We go way back to the very beginning. It's awesome.
Yeah, I need to get up there to more shows. These places keep collapsing, and all the disasters happen with clubs up there.
Yep.
Well, the hurricane closed down and then had someone smash into it. There's like no building now.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That club, it's a tragedy, not to make light of the situation, when 3 people died in that situation.
Yep.
But boy, it could have been packed full of people.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully Davies is going to come back. We'll see.
Did you guys ever get a chance to play Davies?
We actually never played Davies.
Huh.
You'd be a good fit for it, I think. Yeah. Godspeed to them getting everything back together, and God, for everybody getting everything back together, man. I've got hope. I'm not all like all these naysayers online who are jinxing 2022 before it starts.
Nah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know what to expect. I'll be honest. I'm just like, just going to go with it, whatever comes.
Yeah, it's just really crazy how much it changes because, one minute everything's shut down, then you're like playing shows, big shows, and, now we're at the spot where we're like, don't really know what's going to happen. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think was the biggest, surreal moment in that roller coaster for you? Let's say the last, year or year and a half.
Well, filming What Drives Us was crazy. That was crazy. And just meeting the Foo Fighters, touring with them, and just, touring with them, that was really something. So and then seeing ourselves in a documentary with, Ringo and, Flea and stuff, that was really insane.
That would be, man. That would be surreal. I can't imagine that feeling.
For real, it really was insane.
Is that really me? Oh.
Yeah.
You sure he didn't just send us this copy to make us feel better? Yeah, that'd be nuts. But yeah, man, we're awfully proud of you.
For sure.
Glad you're getting it out there, getting it done. Looking forward to seeing you coming around here and seeing you guys do more.
Right.
Hell yeah.
You got any surprise bands you're going to be opening for next, like the Rolling Stones have you on tap?
Yeah, little Pink Floyd jaunt.
Not yet, but we're really excited for next year.
Right.
Or this year, I should say.
Yeah. Well, keep us posted, man.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, keep us in mind. But anything else you want to plug? Anytime you want to come back on? Yeah, we had a good time. But we could just bullshit, talk more about comic books and video games. I'm down with that, too.
We like that shit.
For real.
Absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely. All right. You guys want to go ahead and wrap? Good spot.
Isaiah, what are you feeling? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
If you want to bitch about anything, you like to bitch?
I think I'm pretty good.
Got any New Year's resolutions?
I want to be more efficient. I want to get more things done that I know I can get done that I were either slacked on or did get done before, so I can hit next year with no regrets.
That sounds awesome.
That's a good one.
Any good bass guitar advice? My kid just got a bass.
Yeah, I would say 15 minutes of practice a day. It's not too much, If you do that every day, you'll find that sometimes you'll play longer, and also that you'll be getting better and better.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all it takes. 15 minutes a day is the trick.
Yeah.
Right. He's doing drums 30 minutes a day, so that sounds about right. We're
Totally.
We're working. He's getting to be multi-instrumental. He's 12.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. I'm trying to be your dad, I guess.
Yeah.
I have no musical talent, but I fucking love music.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Finn. He's going to be something. No pressure. No pressure or anything, Finn.
No pressure at all. He got some skill.
Yeah, he does. It's going to be the next big multi-instrumentalist out of Kansas City.
Right.
Well, I say, we don't want to keep you out all night or anything, but thank you, everybody, for tuning in, listening to Undetermined the Podcast. Special guest, Isaiah Radkey. Thanks for joining us, man. I'm glad we could finally work this out.
Yeah.
And get it down. So, hopefully everything goes all right. I'll see you on the 15th.
Yeah. See you on the 15th.
Rose Music Hall. Go check out that show.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
All right, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yep.